Hey, you guys! Surprise!
Yeah.
Look how fucking bright it is in here. God damn! I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happened suddenly.
It's exactly the same lighting in
Yeah,
here.
I
It's
haven't
just that
touched
it's
anything.
that camera. I don't understand it.
Our
Let me
shit's haunted.
turn the speakers off here.
Yeah,
The yeah, sleepy. We went out last night
yeah,
and didn't get a whole lot of sleep. We had fun though.
yeah. We had a
Yeah.
fucking great time.
Yeah.
Not crowded. We had a super smash. I danced my ass off. I
Yeah.
literally my ass is gone today. I left it on the dance floor.
Damn. Nah, you left that shit in my hand. I that fucking testosterone was fucking kicking last night. It's fucking weird shit.
It was.
Weird shit.
Some weird shit. Not weird. Not bad weird.
Yeah. And then, I was like, don't wear that. Don't wear that. No, put this on. No, don't wear that. She wanted to go out and she was wearing, I says, you need some stockings. She says, no, don't. Just bare legged. She was wearing this little dress. It was real short. You know what I mean? I says, yeah, just like that. And then put some sexy shoes on that. Let's go to the club like that. She says, I won't be able to bend over. And I said, yeah. Yeah. Just fucking weird shit. Yeah. It's like, yeah. She didn't wear it though. She said, oh, I can't leave the house like that. And I was like, oh man.
Well, I did wear the dress, but
You wore the dress.
I had to wear like leggings
You
underneath
wear
it.
leggings underneath that shit. I was like, oh man. It's not the same effect. But
Sorry to disappoint you.
yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
It's horrible.
He's all over the place.
Yeah. The so this is our first food show.
Yeah, we literally just decided to do this yesterday.
Yeah, we were eating.
While
We're at Red Lobster.
while we were sitting at Red Lobster
Eating seafood.
eating seafood.
Yeah.
We literally decided to do this because I said, why don't we? Because we hadn't watched a new movie anyway. So I said, we don't have anything to talk about for a matinee show.
Yeah.
And so many people have asked us to do a food show because we always end up talking about food, even when we're talking about like fucking child murders and stuff like that. And so we thought it would be like a good thing to do. And like I said, the cookbook will be done soon too, so we can kind of like tie it all in together. I was like, thank you, Zach. My 24-year-old ass had tequila for the first time the other night. Eee.
Now what were you doing? Your ass had tequila?
Just
You
the
weren't playing those weird damn games with the suppositories, right? Putting the tube up in the booty and the funnel and pouring it in there.
or the tampon, like
yeah,
soaking the tampon in vodka or whatever.
Fucking weird shit.
Supposed to like make the alcohol go.
Yeah, those
That
frat
kind of
boys.
takes the fun out of it, though. I feel like, you know what I mean. I
Those
don't
frat
know.
boys doing that shit, man. Ass drinking. For all I know, that's big in the gay scene. You know what I mean?
Ass
Oh,
drinking.
we're gonna ass drink tonight. We are. Yeah, we're gonna. They all get on the
Bend over, Chad.
They all get up on the couch and shit and start fucking popping and twerking and shit. You get the funnel and the bottle. Oh man, why are you doing this to me, Zach? Why are you coming up with this fucking shit, bro?
You came up with that shit.
Okay. You
Oh my god.
my insanity produced it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we decided to, and so maybe like once or twice a week instead of doing a matinee show, we'll do a food show and we'll just like talk about whatever we feel like talking about. And this is such a new idea that I did actually make little thumbnail images for it, but I didn't have a chance to make an intro yet.
Yeah.
So hopefully at some point it will have a nice little intro like the other shows have.
Once we get used to these, we get confident with them. We'll roll with them. I don't know how regular they're going to be. We'll just see.
Yeah. Like I said, it could be a kind of thing where, like I said, if we don't feel like doing a matinee or we didn't see a new movie we want to talk about, we'll just like talk about fucking food instead, because we always end up talking about fucking food.
Yeah, we don't know how long the show's going to be either. It's probably not going to be long.
We're winging it.
This is what I did today. Hand me that, Jenny.
Which thing?
The tortillas.
Okay. This is what we decided to talk about this today because this is what we made today.
Today I made some tortillas.
Yeah,
Okay.
there they
These
are.
are homemade tortillas.
Corn tortillas.
All right.
Mm.
And when you here in the United States, I don't know about in other countries, you can get pre-made corn tortillas.
Yeah, they're
And that's
really cheap.
a lot of times that's what you're gonna find in a restaurant too. Are these pre-made ones. But if you go to Mexico, man, they'll have that too. You know what I mean? But that's kind of like the cheap way of doing it. That's like their version of that. You could say like eating a taco on a pre-made corn tortilla is kind of like having a ham and cheese sandwich on Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread's everywhere. It's not really special.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the deli and you get some damn deli homemade bread, it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It really classes that sandwich up. Well, that's the deal with these tortillas. A homemade tortilla, when done right, and versus a prefabricated tortilla, man, it's night and day. The flavor is so much better.
Yeah, it's a much more. I mean, because I feel like the corn tortillas you get at the store are like a little bit bland.
Yeah, they're a little bit bland.
You know,
when you're making your own, they taste a lot more like corn.
Yeah,
it's a lot stronger corn taste. The texture's better. You can control the cooking time. You can control the with cooking time and temperature. You can control the texture of tortilla when you finish it, because you got to cook it during the fabrication of the tortilla, and then you cook it again when you're making a taco. You could put it on a tortilla like that, but that's not the way you're going to do it at a taqueria in say Tijuana or anywhere in Mexico. You know what I mean? They're going to have it's going to be a big griddle with the carnitas cooking in a pan sitting on the griddle, and then working with a bunch of tortillas like that, putting cheese in them, putting the filling in them, topping them, and sending them out. They make a lot of them. They make them very quickly. It's fast food, but it's real good though. So making your own tortillas really really elevates a taco quite a bit. All right. So what you're gonna need, main thing you're gonna need first is this.
Yeah, Amanda just asked that. Do you guys have a tortilla maker, or do you just smash them between?
Use a thing called tortilla press.
Tortilla press, there, right there.
Right, and this is a good one, and you can get them from Mexico. Actually, I got this off of Amazon, I think, and it's a Mexican company that made it. It's called Estrella, and it's from Mexico, and this shit's cast iron. All right, and it all comes apart. So if you need to clean it, you know what I mean. It's got cotter pins, and what you do is once you make that masa. I'm going to show you how to I'm going to talk about making the masa. You're going to have, I took a small Ziploc bag and cut around the outside of it to have 2 pieces of plastic. You put 1 piece of plastic here, and then you put the little ball of masa on it, and you kind of flatten it out just a little bit with your hand, and then you put another piece of plastic, and you close this, and then push it. And you're going to want to get the hang of it to make sure it'll be perfectly circle. It'll be a perfect circle in here when you open it up. All right. If you didn't have that ball in the center, or you didn't have it right, actually, this one seems to like it a little bit up, a little highest center. It'll squish it into a perfect circle. If I try to squish it from the exact center, it'll actually come out the front. So you got to find the sweet spot and how big the ball of masa it has to be, and how far to squish it. All right. So it takes some hand work. It takes time. You're gonna fuck them up, but after about a half hour working with it and cooking them a few times and fucking some of them up, you'll get better and better at it. And what you do is once it opens, it'll be a perfect round circle inside 2 pieces of plastic. You put that on your hand, and you peel the top plastic off, and then what you do is this shit. How do I do it? I'll flip it over upside down and then just start peeling the plastic off the other side. And you'll have the tortilla in your hand, and just throw it in a hot pan, non-stick pan, or on a griddle. You don't really want oil, just flat, and it'll kind of bubble up. You only cook it like a few minutes, medium heat. You're not trying to get a bunch of brown marks on it or anything. You cook it on one side, and you'll see it'll slightly kind of rise a little bit in areas. Let it dry. Let it cook 30 seconds to a minute maybe. And then flip it over with a spatula and do the other side. After that's done, you stack them up on a plate, and they'll kind of steam themselves in the stack. And you're working from a bowl and on the press, and you have to get a whole little system made. You go into the tortilla mode, all right? Tortilla manufacturing mode. So you do it on your counter space and everything. When you make a batch of tortillas, you you're going to make a bunch of them at once, like a stack about that thick. This is what you're looking for. This is the most common one you're going to find in the United States. Evidently, you can get this in Europe. It's called Maseca. And this is I think this is the white or the yellow Museka. I forgot. What does it say? I think it's just the white one.
You don't have your glasses on?
Yeah. Yeah, this is just the white one. They have a bunch of different ones. They got a yellow one. They got a blue one. I haven't tried it. But they're harder to find in the United States. You have to order them.
Mango asked, do you have to heat up the press? No, because you're just flattening them out.
Just flattening them out in the press. Yeah. Press is cold.
Yeah.
All right. This is actually cheap. I think this is about $3. In Mexico, it's even cheaper. It's like 70 cents. You can make a lot of tortillas with this. And it'll store dry like this forever. All right. That probably lasts 1,000 years. But it's ready to go. And what it is it's 2 cups of this to 1.5 cups of water. Mix it in a bowl and then just let it sit for a second. Actually, let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes. Absorb all the water. Once you have that bowl of masa, take it, kind of push it into a big bowl, and you'll be pulling pieces of it off, and you're making a round ball a little bit smaller than a ping pong. That's that ping pong ball, a little bit smaller than a ping pong ball. That's what you want. And you're going to put it in that press, lined in those plastic bags, and you do it. And you'll get fast, and you put it in the pan. That's how it's done. Any questions? But I tell you, that way, those tortillas are much better than the pre-made ones. Much better.
Yeah, they are much better.
And a lot more nutritious.
Zach said, can we do an episode on jambalaya sometime?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
I can do that. All right, see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
All right, now, see if there's any questions in here. Yeah, see? Hernandez says, Tom, that's a quality tortilla maker. Yeah, that was the best one, man. The best manual one. You know, they have big machines that can do it too, but I don't want that. I wanted something, you know, that I could fit in a damn... Man, they're talking about butt chugging.
Yeah, I saw that. That's so the tacos that we had today that we made with those tortillas, what did you put on there? You put the pork that you had made. Did you slow cook that in the...
Hold on, listen what fucking Mango says he's going to get one off Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much was that one?
I think it was about $30.
Yeah.
Because it's cast iron.
It
was $35, I think.
Well, cast iron's always a good investment because
it lasts forever.
Quality and it lasts forever. I mean, we have a cast iron pan and we do like everything with that.
Yeah. Now, we're going to talk about... Okay, what you were asking me about... You think you were asking about carnitas?
The pork that you made that you put in the tacos today.
Yeah, it's carnitas.
Did you make it in the crock pot?
That one I did, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in a crock pot, but
yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Well, yeah.
And really what you want is you want pork butt, which is it's not in the butt, actually it's above the shoulder on a pork. Pork butt, that's
dumb. Why do they call it?
It's a cheap cut. It's a cheap cut, but it's lean. All right, it's pretty lean. It doesn't have a lot of fat on it. All right, and it slow cooks real well. It makes good carnitas. In the cookbook we have coming, which there's a carnitas recipe. There's all kinds of carnitas recipes online. You know what I mean? But it's good, and so is pork shoulder. Pork shoulder is even cheaper, but it's got a lot of fat in it. All right. So after it's slow cooked, before you pull the meat, get it all mixed up, I would suggest going there and take the bone out. It's got a bone. Pull that bone out and find those big layers of fat and kind of try to peel them away with a big spoon. Get them out of there first. And then a lot of times what I was doing is I was taking the whole shoulder and taking it out of the crock pot, putting it on a cutting board so I could get to all that stuff. And throw the bone out, throw the fat off of it, kind of go through it, and then just chop it in big pieces and kind of mix it a little bit. Mexicans don't like carnitas fucking just kind of, shredded down to nothing. They like chunks in there. So you want to leave some chunks of meat. And of course, it's already been seasoned and everything during the slow cooking process. Now you just don't pull that out of a crock pot and put that on a taco. You'll get slapped if you do that.
By someone. Someone will wander by and slap you.
Don't do that. Chop the meat, kind of pull it slightly, put it in a big old bowl. Get a big frying pan, all right? Get that sucker hot and sear it after it's been slow cooked, because you want brown, raised, kind of crunchy edges on it. Mm-hmm. That's how you want it.
Yeah, it's good like that.
And then take it out of there and fucking put it in a storage container. It'll store for a while if it's spiced correctly. It could store for a week if it's spiced and cooked correctly.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of preserved, like Indian food. It tastes fresh for a whole week, especially if you got it in a good like Tupperware type container. Keep the air out of it. But you're gonna cook it again when you make the taco. So you're gonna have a big old frying pan, and you're gonna have a big wad of meat in there, cooking, getting some brown edges on it again, and medium heat, and then you're gonna push it to the top of the frying pan, and then you're gonna throw your tortillas in there, flip them over, warm them up, start getting them crisp. Put cheese on it. Put some meat from the corner of the pan into it. Start topping it while it's in there. Put your jalapenos on it, and you could probably have a little bit of oil dripping from the meat cooking in the corner of the pan. You want to move that tortilla up into that oil, man, and pull it back in there. Mexicans don't waste oil. They cook everything in the oil that meat's coming in. It's not. They're doing it on a griddle when you go to a taco restaurant where they're doing it. It's on a griddle, and a lot of the stuff's kind of blending. You know what I mean? You're cooking the tortilla in the meat that in the grease that came off the damn pork. It's efficient. It's very efficient.
Well, yeah, it flavors a lot better. Flavor, you know what I mean? You can't waste flavor.
They don't waste it. They don't waste it.
And you shouldn't.
Now, some places are going to be running different kinds of carnitas and different spice profiles, and some of the stuff's al pastor, which is almost kind of like a rotisserie. No, what's that stuff called? It's like that Greek.
Yeah.
What's that stuff called?
Shit, man, it totally just went out of my head.
It's like a rotisserie thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, al pastor's like that.
Yeah.
And some people might be messing with chicken and stuff, but in general, Mexicans mess with pork. They like that pig. They eat that swine. You know what I mean?
It really does seem like, and we've talked about this before, but Netflix has a pretty good series called The Taco Chronicles, and every single episode is about a different type of taco, and kind of the history where it came from, like the region that it's from, and how they go and have people make them and stuff, and 99% of the tacos had pork on them, other than the fish taco, but that's not even a Mexican thing, really, is it? That's kind of more that's more of a California Mexican.
I was reading what they were saying. What did you say?
The fish taco.
Yeah, fish taco.
I think that's a
California thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think
it might be Baja.
They would eat that in Mexico though too.
Yeah.
They'll make any kind of taco.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Is like there's a war going on in Mexico on the street between street tacos.
Yeah.
And a lot of times some of this stuff is family recipes that goes back, decades and decades. Other guys are kind of, they got a long heritage, in their little taco stand, but also they're buying components that they get good deals on. Like today, you might be a good deal on a certain kind of pork. They're going to use that, or it might be a certain kind of deal on a certain kind of spice profile. So they're going to go that way. It's real flexible. No two tacos are the same. Everybody's got their own interpretation of it. Okay. Now, here's something else I wanted to show you. This is like a super common taco type sauce or hot sauce. Cholula. It's not great, but it's available pretty much everywhere. And this would be real common. According to Khan, he said that this was everywhere. People used it. When you went to a restaurant, this was usually sitting on a table. Okay, but it's not real special. It's not real hot either. It's kind of salty a little bit. But you can get it here in the United States, I think that was even $1. Not even $1. I think that might have been 80 cents.
And I think it's like pretty much every Mexican restaurant I've been to here has that on the table.
Right. So it's just very standard. So I'm going to bring in that and show you. Now, these are the ones that I really prefer, if you can get them.
Yeah, he likes these ones.
All right. Well, I showed this shit to Con. He's got, you got that? I said, yeah. This is the best one. This is El Yucateco.
Yeah.
Okay. This is El Yucateco. This was the it used to have the name on it. It was like Iktil Ubute or some weird shit like that. It was supposed to be a Mayan plant, and this shit is hot. It's habanero.
Now this is the one that you actually have to go to that little Mexican store.
They're carrying it now. You can get this. Okay. You can get this at Walmart now.
Shit, man. He used to have to ride over to Eustis on his motorcycle.
This is the brown one. It's brown. It used to be even hotter than this. they've made it mild, and still a lot of people can't eat this.
I can't eat it, that's for sure.
10 years ago, when this first showed up here in the United States, it was twice as hot. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, that shit is fucking hot. You could take a tablespoon or maybe a teaspoon of this and probably make about a gallon and a half of super hot chili. Yeah. That's how hot it used to be. And it's got a weird earthy flavor. It tastes like roots. Yeah. It tastes like dirt, but in a good way. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
It tastes like roots and dirt.
Yeah.
But real hot. And it's habanero.
Hot dirt.
All right. This is a milder one. This is the green one. This is a jalapeno. I like this one too. I like this. It's got a little bit, it's got some heat to it, but the flavor is really good. It's got a really good, real good like jalapeno type flavor. You know, there's a red one. The red one's good too. I don't have it, but the red one's the most common one. The red El Yucateco. But this is the one you need to look for. Walmart carries it.
That's crazy.
Walmart carries it. Yeah,
because you used to have to go. We have
you used to have to go to the Mexican store to get it.
The Mexican store about how far is that?
Oh,
12 miles, 15
Yeah,
miles?
I used to ride on my bike just to go get hot
Just
sauce.
to go get hot sauce because they didn't have the brown one.
Yeah. So
talk to about the kind of cheese.
All right.
Because I know that here's the thing: when I was little, and when you were little in the 70s, when you had taco night at home, you would get like the old El Paso, whatever, like the hard shells.
Yeah.
Ground beef with the taco meat in it.
It's like a Dorito.
Yeah, it was like a Dorito. And then it was always like cheddar cheese or like a Mexican cheese blend, which is usually what, cheddar and pepper jack or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you'd put like a couple tomatoes on there. That is really not like an authentic taco at all. No. Which I didn't know when I was little.
You could probably ask Hernandez. He's in there right in the comment section right now. The California and Texas Mexican or Chicano taco, traditionally back in the days, we're talking in the 60s and the 70s and shit, that was an emergency taco.
Yeah.
They were making that shit out of an emergency. They couldn't get it.
Kind of a crappy taco is better than no taco.
Right. They were just using the American ingredients they could get their hands on. It was an emergency taco. It was good, but Americans didn't know any better. We liked it.
Yeah, I mean, they are good, but they're not really.
If you really analyzed what we were eating back in those days, and what a lot of people are still eating, like when you look at Taco Bell, all right, that's what it is. That's emergency taco bullshit there, but it's good, but that's not Mexican food, all right?
I prefer Del Taco. Too bad
Del Taco is better.
We only have one of those, and it's kind of far from here.
But that's kind of the same thing. That's not, you know, that's not a real taco. But anyway, it kind of is. It's kind of.
It's taco adjacent.
Kind of, yeah. It's Chicano. It's Mexican American. But if Khan would probably be fighting, he says, "No, that's not a taco." You know,
I can. Well, that's a completely legitimate viewpoint.
Yeah. Well, going into Brazil, living in Brazil, there were Brazilians that swore they were making hamburgers. Swore that they were buying damn hamburgers. I'm like, that is not a fucking hamburger. There's nothing hamburger about that shit. Bun wrong, everything fucking wrong. The ketchup wrong. That's not a fucking hamburger. You know what a hamburger bun is like, right? When I was there, Brazilians didn't have hamburger buns. They ate the thing on basically what we would call like a Bisquick biscuit. It was like that. That was the texture. So
it's almost kind of like a breakfast sausage.
It's like yeah. And then which
nothing wrong with that, but it's not a hamburger.
And then but the thing is that the breakfast sausage one was that would be even a lot better. The bun was terrible. All right. And then another thing that was bad was the damn. I'm talking about Brazilian hamburgers now. This is the old ones. They got better at it. Right? The ketchup was fucking horrible. It was bright red. I don't think there was any tomato paste in it. It was a tomato-like substance, and it was just sugary. It was like sweet as fuck.
Strange.
Yeah, I mean,
ketchup does have some sugar in it, or brown sugar, but it's not usually
all sugar.
It's supposed to be like a sweet, spicy balance, kind of.
I brought Heinz 57 ketchup back from the United States one time, all right, and let my Brazilian friends eat it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's much better." We're like, "That's ketchup."
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this shit that you guys are?
Yeah, just Brazilian ketchup.
I got lost in the translation. I guess.
it was ketchup. It was just Brazilian ketchup, and they didn't execute too well. Anyway, what I was talking about is that if you actually analyzed an American taco, it's basically sloppy Joe mix with more of a fucking
that's exactly what it is.
Sloppy Joe mix with the more of a Mexican style flavor profile and the spicing. All right, even though that's not the way Mexicans would spice it. Mexicans would use like cumin and maybe a little bit of something exotic like a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of cocoa or something in there. You never can't tell what they're gonna do. I've seen so many different recipes, but and it wouldn't be red. That meat was red.
It had like that orange, greasy oil that came out of it.
You wouldn't see that in Mexican spicy profiles from not in modern times. And then
and they don't use ground beef
no, they don't
in
use
the
that.
tacos. They usually, like I said, mostly it was pork, but it was like pulled pork mostly.
Yeah, which is carnitas.
Yeah.
Carnitas. And then another thing is that the American taco, the taco shells basically deep fried corn tortilla, which turns it in. You're talking about a Dorito.
Yeah.
A glorified Dorito. It's crisp and falls apart when you bite it. No. that will not do that. It's basically a real tortilla is fried cornbread. That's a good way to describe it. It's flexible, but it can become crisp. It's chewier. It tastes like cornbread. It doesn't taste like a corn chip.
Yeah.
If you've ever had cornbread, some people probably in Europe have never even had cornbread, but it's good. It's real good. And then the things that they're putting on it are things that just Mexicans in Mexico wouldn't put on there.
Well,
they would not put cheddar cheese on there. That's a British cheese.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
If they were, a Mexican would put, if he wanted a more authentic taco in the United States and he couldn't get the damn cheese that they normally get, they like a white cheese that's mild and it melts pretty good. All right. The closest thing that you'd be able to get here in the United States to that would be like partial skim milk mozzarella.
Yeah,
and they'll use that in Mexico. They'll use that partial skim mozzarella. But the real one is, I forgot what it's called. Hernandez knows what it is. Hernandez, what's that real Mexican cheese that they use?
Yeah, I can't remember
the
name of it.
It's not queso fresco. That's salty and doesn't melt too well. It's that other one.
Yeah, because I was saying too that some of the tacos, they're like some taco styles, I guess you want to call them that, don't actually even have cheese on them. It's just like meat and a little bit of cilantro and maybe some salsa or something. Yeah, that's what Louis just said.
What's that?
Basic Mexican taco is tacos de asada with salsa and a little bit of cilantro and onions. Yeah, so there are a lot of variations that don't actually have any cheese on them.
Yeah.
But if you want cheese on we used to put cheddar on it, like back in the old days before we knew any better. But now it's like if we put cheese on it, we pretty much always put mozzarella.
And then it's the same queso ranchero. With that, I was thinking of it. I remembered it though. I think they got Oaxaca cheese, which might be queso ranchero. It might be the same thing. I don't know, but I think it was called Oaxaca.
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of more an American thing is putting sour cream on the shit.
Yeah. Mexicans wouldn't put that on there. They'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" Sour cream's Yiddish. If I remember correctly.
I mean, but sour cream is is good. I mean, I'll put it on there sometimes.
It's good.
Too.
It just doesn't belong on anything Mexican.
We made what did you make the other day? You made shit, man.
Oaxaca queso. That's what I'm saying. Oaxaca. Yeah. I think Oaxaca is the more common one. I think, but I'm not in Mexico. What do I know? It's just that's one that comes up. That's one that comes up a lot when I'm reading and I'm looking. Is Oaxaca. You can't get it. You can get it here, but I'd have to go down to the Mexican store to get it.
Yeah, like I said, we have one not too long away, not too far away from here.
Miles.
Yeah, it's in Eustis.
And that's where the straight up Mexicans go. The dudes that come here to work, that's their shop. They got a damn shop and a little restaurant right there. They're making their own tortillas.
We've eaten in that restaurant too, haven't we?
Yeah, the restaurant's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can buy homemade tortillas like that. They'll sell them in a big, tin foil. They'll have them in a cooler. I'll keep them warm in a cooler. And they have fresh vegetable, fresh fruit, Mexican soft drinks like Mexican Coca-Cola. And Mexican Coca-Cola is much better than American or European Coca-Cola. All their soft drinks are much better because they use cane sugar.
Yeah.
Instead of that damn
corn syrup.
That corn syrup it's cheaper. You can make a lot of stuff. And we in Europe we have a lot of corn syrup, so it reduces the price. But there's just something about cane sugar in. All right, now here's the weird thing about it. You can get it. They call it throwback.
Yeah.
All right, you can get it in America, but you gotta look for it. Coca-Cola throwback, a 7-Up throwback, Dr. Pepper throwback. And that's cane sugar. That's
so many people ask for that.
Yeah, that was the way it was when I was a little kid. That's what we drank. And what was funny, man, is that when they first started giving us this corn syrup, one of the things that they were saying is it wouldn't make you as fat. Total fucking bullshit. You will get fat fucking drinking soda that has corn syrup in it. You'll get a lot fatter on corn syrup than you would on cane sugar.
Well, I feel like it's more concentrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's something about the way your metabolism reacts to it. And that, I thought about it. I was working with this old dude, fucking, I forgot his name. Shit. That motherfucker was 90 years old and they still had him fucking working. All right. He didn't want to go home. You could fire him and he'd still show up to work just to have something to do. And he would talk your fucking ear off and he's going, yeah, them drinks, Jimmy was his name. Those drinks are just not as good as when they went over to that corn syrup. Yeah, I told him, you're going to get fat. And they all got fat. Back in the Depression, we would drink whole cases of soda. And that cane sugar, you could metabolize it. You wouldn't get fat. But you get fat off that corn syrup. And it was so good. And I didn't know, and I was thinking about it. I could kind of remember them. You know what I mean? I could remember. What the fuck? Damn, race car.
Yeah, it sounded like a race car out the window.
I remembered it, you know what I mean? But I couldn't quite. I remember drinking it, that it was different, but I couldn't quite recall exactly the way it tasted. And he was trying to tell me it was like smoother and creamier, and it was not as sweet, but it was just better. And then it had some Mexican Coca-Cola, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's a lot better. And then I fucking found it in fucking throwback.
Yeah, because like I said, I think that's why, because they knew that so many people were kind of going around and getting Mexican Coca-Cola from like little, from little Mexican grocery stores. Yeah. And so there was a demand for that, so they decided to do it.
Drink it, it lights up the whole inside of your mouth. It has a totally different reaction.
Party in your mouth. Yeah,
well, you know what I'm saying? It's like activating weird taste buds and sensory stuff inside your cheeks and everything. When you drink and it kind of tastes slightly numbing, almost kind of like it had a little bit of Novocaine or something in it. You remember that?
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I'm talking about? It's almost kind of like your mouth get coated.
I didn't drink a lot of soda as a kid. I wasn't a fan.
And then when you're drinking the modern shit with that corn syrup in there, it's super sweet. It's all at the front of your tongue. That's where the sweetness is. It's not all around in your mouth. It's like a narrow band sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it can be kind of obnoxious. The cane sugar is like broadband, analog. It's like the difference between CD and fucking record and phonograph record. Which, if you guys have never heard a damn record on a good record player, is a lot better than CD. A lot better.
Well, there's a lot. Well, because the CD, the sound is compressed.
It's compressed, right?
So you don't have that broad band of sound. So the sound has a lot more depth to it.
That my favorite album, which is First, Last, and Always, it sounds okay on CD. On record, it sounded much better.
Yeah. And
they never really made it was a lot more resonant, and you could hear the lyrics a lot better, and the guitars sounded a lot better. And there'd be like resonant frequencies happening in between the guitars and certain other instruments. It was fucking just badass. But when they recorded that thing for vinyl, and then when they went over to when they converted it to fucking CD, it didn't quite.
Yeah, they have to like squish it down. Yeah, into like a narrower
it didn't really
band.
Quite make the translation.
So it loses some.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you take a really like high resolution photo that was like a TIFF and you have to like compress it down to a JPEG, like you lose a bunch of information. Louis said tacos de lengua are also very good. That's tongue, is it not?
Yeah, tongue.
Yeah, I thought it was. Tongue's they talked about that on the show as well.
Yeah. Louis also said that Mexican Coke also comes in glass, which gives it a better flavor. Yeah, that way you're not dealing with the damn plastics and stuff.
Mango said we cook pork in cola over in the UK. They do that a lot here too.
They do that in Korea.
Yeah, you can put like Coke or whatever in the in with your roast or whatever, like in your tenderizer slow cooker. Yeah, I mean, anything like that will, because they'll do it in orange juice too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's almost like a Cuban.
Yeah, because it's got acids.
Yeah, like citrus. They'll use like a bitter orange or something like that. That's moyo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but Koreans will take thinly sliced beef, when they're making bulgogi. They'll take a frozen piece of beef and with a real sharp knife or on a meat slicer, they'll shave off frozen slivers of beef, real thin. And then they'll take all that and they'll marinate it in sesame seed oil, and Coca-Cola, and a little bit of brown sugar. It's good, real good, and garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they drain it, and then barbecue it. It's good.
Canuck the Hunter says, if I don't have Coke for carnitas, I use sweet and sour sauce. I don't notice a difference.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess that'd work.
Yeah.
Anything. I know it sounds weird at first blush, but when you actually do it, like I said, a lot of people have been cooking in fucking cola for a long time.
Yeah.
Can we, this isn't exactly taco related, but it is kind of food related. Can we tell the story about the McDonald's drive-thru last night?
You can tell. Yeah.
So as usual, like every time we go out on Saturday night and, we get drunk and dance and stuff, and we were having a really good time. And then, of course, we're always just kind of like, man, I want McDonald's on the way home because, McDonald's is right around the corner. It's open 24 hours, so it's always, like, very tempting. So we go to the McDonald's drive-thru, and I'm pissed because now, I mean, I understand why they do it, but they don't have, don't think they have any chicken sandwiches, no fish, no breakfast. Pretty much all they had was, like, burgers. They have, like, Quarter Pounders, Big Macs, just beef stuff. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just get like a Quarter Pounder. So we're going through the drive-thru, and it was really crowded, I guess, because it was like a Saturday night and everybody had the same idea.
Yeah, we were pretty loaded too.
We kind of, yeah. So we get approached by.
That's not a good way to put it.
That's not a good way to put it.
No, that's not exactly what happened.
Yeah, he didn't really approach. No. It was kind of like
we're going through the drive-thru, and I'm coming up on that damn window, and there's just this dude standing there on the curb in the drive-thru, looking just fucking dumb as shit,
or maybe forlorn.
And and I'm going. He's a big dude, about 6 feet tall, And I roll down the window and says, "What's up with you?" I said, "You selling some ass?"
Yeah, that's right. That's
selling some ass. He goes, "No."
That's right. That's the first thing.
Forgot about that. Yeah. Selling some ass, and he goes, "No, they won't let me go. They won't let me order." And I was like, "What?" And they said, "I can't go through the drive-thru on foot."
Yeah.
And it's locked. And I was like, "Oh man, that's fucking bullshit."
Yeah, they won't let you walk up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get something to eat. And I said, "Get in the back seat." And he goes, "Oh, thanks." So he gets in the back seat.
Get in the back seat.
Yeah.
We're kidnapping you.
I don't know. It's like, and we're going through the thing, and I says, "I'm gonna order," and then you order. He says, "Yeah. That's good." So I order, and then he orders, and then we go through like that. And I says, "You like big titties?" She got some big old titties. Titties, show them your titties. And she goes, "I ain't showing them like that."
You're 16.
Well, I didn't know that. I said, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 16. And I'm, "Oh shit, you're a fucking child." We're laughing.
We're like,
he was like 6 feet
tall. Because I kept telling him, like, we're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
He's a minor.
Yeah, I didn't know.
We didn't know he was just standing there looking lost. He's like, they won't let me order food because I don't have a car.
Was 6'1", 6'2". He didn't look like a little boy. He looked like a fucking huge man.
It was just so funny.
Yeah.
Tom's just like, get in the car.
Yeah, so get in the car.
And then we took him. He was in the back seat, and we took him through the drive-thru, and we just like pulled forward, and he paid. And then, like, we got to them, we picked up all our food, and he's like, "Yeah, my little friends are over there." So he got.
Yeah. He ordered for them too.
Yeah.
He's like, "Thanks, man. Thanks." I feel sorry for him because I didn't see the other ones. They were waiting for him over there,
like in the front. Yeah.
They would have had the BMX bikes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they won't let you go in the place.
Wouldn't let them go in.
Well, they don't. Well, actually, even before COVID, they wouldn't let you go in after midnight, after 2 a.m., whatever it was. Yeah. And I think it was like 3 or 3:30 in the morning.
Check. Go ahead, read.
Oh, thank you, Zach. They're selling chicken sandwiches at McD's now. Total ripoff of Chick-fil-A, and so good. Had 2 in the last day. They actually are the McDonald's ones are good. Yeah.
I'll tell you what they had at McDonald's, like what they introduced, but they don't have it anymore. At least not on the night menu. The double fillet of fish.
Yeah, they have it. You just can't get it after midnight.
Yeah, that's the way that sandwich always should have been. It should have had 2 fish patties on it.
Well, yeah.
And it's got a lot of it got.
Because then the ratio of the fish and the tartar sauce is correct.
That sandwich makes so much more sense when it's got 2 patties on it.
I still haven't got one. You got one the other day. Good. And we were at Mannequins and we were like, oh, we'll get McDonald's on the way home. I'm going to get one of those double fish sandwiches. But then they're like, yeah, we don't have fish sandwiches or chicken sandwiches. Yeah. Or they didn't have any fucking breakfast sandwiches either, I don't think. Yeah. I was looking at the menu last night because for a while, in the middle of the night, they did have a couple of breakfast things. Like you could get like an Egg McMuffin and a hash brown or whatever. But they didn't have like pancakes and shit like that. But I think last night, all that I saw... all they had was like the beef burgers, pretty sure, the like quarter pounders and Big Macs and stuff. Yeah. I don't even think they had any chicken sandwiches, which sucks because I like that crispy chicken one they do too, like with the club with all the tomatoes and shit on it.
Louis says, imagine if Jenny had flashed and kids. That's it. I was feeling good, man. My fucking hormones were fucking bumping. I'd have been all for it. I was like, yeah, showing up fucking gorgeous ass fucking titties. Look, one of the things I found out is that when you're I gotta watch myself.
Yeah, you do. You're gonna get in trouble.
I gotta watch myself because when you have like fucking the testosterone of like 2 15-year-olds fucking going through your veins. Women look unreasonably good looking. They look unreasonably good looking. I'm just like, wow. Oh, Jenny, look. I know, they're mine. And I'm going, oh.
I know that. I see them all the time.
I started going down on these
I can't avoid them.
Start going down these weird fucking pathways of thinking and shit. I'm just, I don't want to talk about it. It started taking over. It's weird, man.
Yeah, he just had an injection before.
Just when the show started.
Before the show started.
Yeah, because I break it up into 2, one every 3.5 days.
Yeah.
So it's not all one big fucking wallop. There isn't any spikes in it. I'm trying to get it nice and even.
Man, you were even like dancing and everything last night.
Yeah.
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 Hadn't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
It was a fun night, actually.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, guys. I was telling Jenny, I said, this feels fucking really good, but I really think this is only about half of what I need. I think the dose needs to be doubled. I think.
Well, like I said,
it has to gel. It might take a little bit more. They told me 6 weeks.
Yeah, next time you go and you get your blood work done, and they'll be able to reassess like what the level is, and then you can ask them. I
think it needs to be doubled.
Man, if you're like this now, it's like if it was double, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
I could take another dose of that. I know I could take another dose. Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen at that point.
I could always see. I could always just inject it and just see what happens.
I would have to like sort of beat you off with a bat all the time.
Yo, you'll be beating me off all the time, all right? You'll be beating me off.
I walked into that one, didn't I?
You walked right into that shit.
Oh my God.
See you walking into that shit ass first. But I'm just saying, she said, back it up, bitch. Back it the fuck up. I'm telling you, it's just like, it's fucking bad shit. But no, I got an extra stash. You know, I got an extra stash of it.
Yeah.
I could fucking bump up that dose fucking twice and see what that does.
Yeah.
But the thing is though is that they told me about 6 weeks to stabilize it. So we'll wait till after the 6 weeks is elapsed. Like maybe I'll do that week 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't like my results around week 8, maybe I'll double it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Bet you that should be badass.
Oh, Dario Runs was late, so he said a dose of what?
Testosterone. I'm gonna double that shit.
Tammy said Jenny's gonna have to lock him out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
I'm not ever gonna get any sleep.
It's fucking weird, man. Cause I'll be fucking grabbing and going, come here. And I can't really do anything about it. It's just in my mind. It's like, what? Nothing. It's like it goes away.
It's a roller coaster for sure.
And I'm looking at it and I'm going, no, I'm gonna do it. No, never mind. It just depends. It depends on what the hell's happening. It's weird.
Oh my God.
It's fucking funny. Hormones are fucking powerful drugs, man. I'm a true believer now.
Yeah, it really has
They're weird.
made like has a large effect on you.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hilarious.
Well,
but...
what's funny is that also I start talking about all these new projects that I want to do.
See, that's good because it's giving you like your positivity.
Yeah, because you start getting real mentally positive.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the main things that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Other than you want to like jump on everything.
I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I can see why they're giving this to these dudes that are fucking coming out of Special Forces and Delta, because you're coming out of a high energy level area, and when they start to retire, or they get medically retired, or they're just fucking worn out, and they fucking send them home for a while. They come down and have these big hormonal crashes and go through all this depression and shit, and some of them commit suicide.
Yeah.
But they give them this, and they keep them up there, and they stay good.
Well, because it makes you feel like you have a purpose, and like you want to do stuff. You feel
right.
like enthusiastic about shit.
Right.
Louis said Tom's going to be knocking on the door without using his hand.
Yeah. It's just fucking funny, man.
I was still laughing about that fucking kid in the fucking McDonald's drive-thru last night. Oh
no, but had I known what I know now, I'd gone on this shit at 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Just for the skin texture.
I know. It's like that's what I kept saying. We were at the bar last night talking to Lee, the bartender.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, look, his skin feels like a baby's butt.
Yeah.
All right. You have any more that you would like to add about tacos? Or tortillas.
No, we covered it. And
or anything.
If anybody
like
has
that.
any questions over any of this shit.
Yeah. This is kind of, I think we're going to like doing this series. This seems a lot of fun. And, and we can always like revisit topics too if we didn't cover everything that we were going to cover.
We had a small crowd, but it's okay. The show will be posted up. We had 30 watching. If you guys enjoyed the show, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. I'd like to see. Did you guys enjoy the show? If there's any ideas, you can put that in there too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably do, because I think your idea that we were talking about yesterday was that we were going to do like kind of general stuff at first. Like we'll do a show about like, Indian, or maybe not that general, but like curries or you know what I mean? But then like as the show goes on, we can do like more specific dishes. Oh, thanks again, Zach. In general, what is both of your favorite food or dish? Oh man,
come on.
That's really hard because honestly, I'll eat pretty much anything. Shit. If I had to choose one cuisine,
to eat your whole rest of your life.
Man,
hard to say.
I don't know. It's a three-way tie: Indian, Italian, seafood. Is that really a cuisine? I guess. I don't know. It's too hard. And actually, if I had to pick a favorite dish, okay. Some of my favorite dishes that you make. Yeah. First thing I think of, chicken paprikash, which we haven't made in a while. Actually.
Yeah, I gotta make that.
Man, that's good. I
gotta get that Hungarian paprika though.
You can get it at Publix. Well, I got it at Publix before. Right. I don't know if they carry it now. It's not in the same place. You have to like look down at the end of the aisle. They put it in a weird spot. But yeah, it does taste different. But yeah, so that's probably one of my favorite things that you make. Also, another thing you haven't made in a while too is that shit, man. What's that Thai curry that you make sometimes with like the peanut butter?
Oh yeah, the satay type stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. I haven't made that in a while.
God damn, that shit is so good. I'm sure it's like super fattening.
It's real fucking high calorie.
God damn it, it's so fucking good.
And it's hard for me to get it right. You guys love it, but I'm always kind of not satisfied with it. There's always something wrong with it from my point of view. It's either too thick or it's too thin or it didn't really gel real well with the type of noodles that I used. There's, that's kind of... I gotta get back off into that. I gotta taste some good. I gotta taste that dish done right a couple times. We need to go to a decent restaurant and have.
There's a bunch of Thai restaurants around here.
Right.
I've only been to one or two.
I gotta be able to absorb the You see, some of this shit you can't do just with recipes alone. You gotta taste somebody else's cooking. Yeah,
because you're not really sure what it's supposed to taste like.
Right. And you want a variety of a couple different cooks doing that dish. That way you can good cooks. That way you can kind of absorb the spirit behind that dish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a certain spirit behind it. And I don't quite have the spirit of satay yet.
Well, we don't make it that often.
We don't have it that often, and I don't make it that often. And we need to go buy some of it and have it so I can become one with that for a while. And then I'll be able to reproduce that.
I really do like that curry thing. It's the the Thai curry paste. I think it's the one in the yellow can, right?
I think
The
so.
Masaman,
Yeah.
whatever it's called, that curry paste. And then there's like a generous amount of peanut butter, and it's there's potatoes in it too, right? I think there's chunks of like potatoes, like red potatoes, and I don't know, like the few times you've made it, it was one time you made it, and it was so good that I think I ate 4 bowls. Like not at one sitting. I had like 2 bowls, and then like a couple hours later I had 2 more bowls because it was like so good I couldn't stop eating it.
Yeah, got Mango and he's ordering that tortilla press. Yeah, I mean, if I was in England, I wouldn't even fuck around, man. I'd get that Maseka and get that press right there, and just for pennies, you can make the best tortillas. You're gonna fuck some of them up. All right, but that's just part of the learning curve.
But that's what always happens. Somebody said earlier, it might have been Tammy or Amanda, I can't remember, but they said, yeah, it's just like making pancakes and waffles. You always mess up the first one or two.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Hayden. Great show. Love Mexican food. I do too, man. It's like it was really hard. We weren't sure because I kept asking him this morning. I was like, well, what kind of food do you want to talk about today? And he's like, oh man, I don't know. And
I made Mexican.
And then you made tacos like an hour or two ago, and he's like, okay, well, we'll just talk about tacos and making tortillas and shit like that. Because like I said,
stuff to show.
And and plus that's going to be in the cookbook as well.
Right. The cookbook is going to be done pretty soon. And
I have one. I'm doing the drinks and dessert section, which is the last section.
Then we got to do a photo shoot because she's going to layer me in on a couple of the pages.
And I'm going to put Pookie and Beijing in there.
Yeah, too, and then
with little chef's hats.
That cookbook is designed first. It's going to be hardcover, so it's going to be good, real good quality.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be a hardcover.
It's not going to cost that much, maybe $30, I think.
I have to see. I'm not sure because I initially thought the page count was going to be 200, but now I think it's going to be like 160 pages. I don't know. So, so I'm not sure like what the cost, like what our cost it was going to be. I think it's like $22 for us.
Yeah.
So then you have to have a markup or something.
And then what I was going to say, what was I talking
about? The cookbook.
Yeah. I was getting sleepy too.
Me too.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking
about. Well, no, you said we're talking about.
What were we talking about?
You were talking about the cookbook.
Yeah, but before that. Something before the cookbook. The reason why I mentioned the cookbook. Oh, it was about making tortillas.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was in England, I'd get that Maseka and then get a press, and you're gonna fuck up some of them, but just make some tortillas. Another thing that I learned today is that sometimes when you take the raw tortilla, it's in your hand. It's because it's come out of the press and you've taken it off the plastic sheets, which that's going to take you a little while to get used to that. You can go online and see videos of people doing that to kind of get an idea of how much space you're going to need for this process and how you're going to have to change from one hand to the other and peel plastic off of it. And when it's in your hand, some people will just kind of like slam dunk it into the hot pan. Some people will kind of just lay the corner off and walk it off their fingers, just like gently doing that. I'll just massage it in. Okay.
Well, of course you will, because you're
now, because I can't. So I just throw that shit. When you got enough testosterone in your bloodstream, you can fucking like that, you know, bitch, and put it right in there like that, you know. Well, I did that one time and it folded over on itself.
Oh, see.
It cooked for a second. I was trying to flip it back. And I scooped it back out of there with the spatula and rolled it back into a ball and repressed it. It worked fine.
Oh, okay.
It worked fine.
Just like...
Yeah, so don't worry about it. If you fuck it up, dropping in the pan, it can cook for a few seconds. It can be half done. You can pull it back out of there and put it right back into a ball, press it, and put it in there, and it didn't make a difference.
Yeah, they're kind of forgiving.
Yeah, it's forgiving.
Yeah.
So, that'll take you down your taco fucking journey. Your taco journey.
Taco journey.
Yeah.
For all your taco needs.
Yeah. Now, Goya, which is not a Mexican company, it's a Spanish company. They'll make chorizo. I got chorizo, and it's vacuum packed in a fucking in a plastic pack. They're little sausages. I think there's 6 of them or 5 of them in there, and it wasn't expensive. It was only like $2. I took that, put it on a cutting board with a kitchen knife, and kind of minced it into little chops. put that into a frying pan with a little bit of like Mexican profile seasonings like cumin and some salt. Actually, no, I didn't use salt. It was already salty enough. Just cumin, and just kind of tossed it in its own oil and used that for taco meat. It was pretty good.
All right.
I don't think you had it.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You didn't have it for some reason. I think I fed you something else. You had something else. Maybe I think you had fish taco.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Here's another thing that I found out. We like fish tacos. It's easier though if you get some fucking good quality fish sticks and use that as a taco filling.
Yeah, we cheat.
Yep. In that tortilla right there. Yep. Bake it. And then once they're done baking, fucking take all those fish sticks and put them up on a plate. And then when you're making tacos, when it's come time to do it, you put the tortilla in there, the cheese, throw a fish stick in there with it, heat it up, throw it back on the center of the taco, start topping it. Yeah.
Yeah, put some salsa, a little bit of
salsa and everything.
Lime juice or lemon juice or whatever.
For some people who don't know what we're talking about, haven't seen the photographs, Mexican tacos are not folded over. You fold them when you eat them.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it'd be a mess, yeah.
They're round. You pick them up, and they're kind of flexible. Even if they're crunchy, they're slightly flexible. You know, the shell will flex and kind of crunch at the same time. But it won't shatter and fall apart like some American fucking bullshit. You know, that damn deep-fried...
Yeah, I never did figure out how to eat those without just...
Yeah.
After a while, like when I was a kid, I said, you know what? Just give me the shell and I'll just break it up. And then I'll just put all this... I'll make a salad.
Yeah, taco salad.
Because it was like no point in like trying to eat it because it would just go...
Yeah.
It just fall apart. Zach asked what was the grossest thing you've ever eaten.
First of all, he asked me what the best thing, what would I eat? My choice.
Oh, okay, yeah, you didn't.
And I never did answer him. If I could only eat one thing for the rest of my life, it would be chilled, boiled shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, Cajun style with some good Zatarain seasoning, boiled in Zatarain seasoning with my own homemade cocktail sauce. Mm-hmm. Yep. I just eat that. That's fucking pure protein. Pure protein.
I mean, I love seafood.
Yeah.
I know seafood seems like it's a little bit divisive. Like some people like really, really don't like it, but I don't know. I love fucking seafood.
I could live off of crab legs.
Yeah, I probably could too, actually.
Yeah. I could live off it.
Yeah, when when I went to Red Lobster.
Another pure protein.
When I went to Red Lobster yesterday, I got the little the broiled shrimp skewers and like a little half lobster tail.
Yeah.
And a little bit of broiled salmon.
Yeah.
Or grilled salmon, I guess it was. That was delicious. But
Dario says, get the Colombian chorizo. It's the best. Okay, I haven't seen the Colombian one. Yeah, okay, Stop Propaganda uses wax paper with the tortilla. That works too, but I found just taking a Ziploc bag and cutting around the edges of it, it'll make 2 squares. And that Ziploc bag can be reused because it'll wash.
Yeah.
And it just comes off there too. Yeah.
Amanda said, I always use either halibut or sea bass for my fish tacos.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Yeah, that would be good, yeah. I can't think of like the grossest thing I've ever eaten. I probably figured you would say that that boudin stuff that you got, like that ball of
boudin was terrible.
Organ meat or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything that I ever ate that was so disgusting that I just like spit it out. Man, I really can't think of anything.
The boudin ball didn't taste all that bad. It was just rotten.
Yeah.
I threw it up. So it didn't really, you know what I mean? I regretted eating the boudin ball. It was a ball. And I just called it said boudin on there. And I said, that's boudin. I never had boudin, you know? And I said, let me get that boudin ball.
And no, was it like a horror movie where they warned you? Or are you sure you want that? They were just like, "Oh, okay."
I said, "Let me get that boudin ball." And they give me the boudin ball.
There's probably armadillo meat in there.
Yeah,
like
all wax
road
paper, and
kill
I'm
or
eating it like that, driving like that, and it was all good. And I'm putting the paper down. 10 minutes later, I'm fucking putting the brakes on.
Oh no!
Shit was rotten, spoiled. Damn.
That's fucking horrifying.
It's like that shit's a mess. Kidneys in it and livers in it and stuff, you know. British people would love that shit. They probably would love it.
Yeah,
they like all those internal organs and shit.
Yeah, I feel like Europeans, and it's admirable that they use like a lot of the organ meats and stuff, because over here I feel like a lot of it goes to waste because a lot of people don't like it. They use it for other applications like pet food and stuff.
Yeah, pet food.
But yeah, like over there, I just feel like people were eating like blood sausage, like black pudding, like for breakfast and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I can't face that early in the morning. Another weird thing, I don't know how common this is, but another weird thing was people would eat for breakfast like canned spaghetti, essentially like Chef Boyardee, not even Chef Boyardee quality. It was like more like Franco-American canned spaghetti on toast.
Yeah, terrible.
And I'm like, why would you want to ruin a perfectly good piece of toast that way? Like making it all fucking doggy and shit. And I'm not a snob. I don't have a thing about canned spaghetti. I'll eat some Chef Boyardee. I don't get, you know. But why would I put it on toast? Is so nice and crispy.
Poverty fucking make you do a hell of a fucking thing.
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, toast is nice just with like some bread, some butter on it, and you know, maybe some peanut butter, some cashew butter, maybe a little bit of cinnamon and sugar.
We know that in the UK they will eat canned beans for breakfast, and that doesn't belong there on that plate.
Yeah, I think that is actually part of a full English. They have like eggs. And it's like, it's like baked beans.
It just doesn't belong on that dish.
I mean, baked beans, we eat them here, but that's like a picnic food. Yeah. Like you eat it with like fried chicken and coleslaw.
Yeah,
and
we also modify that shit. You never eat that straight out of the can. What you do is you take a bunch of cans of that. All right, like 6 cans of that. And you pour it into a big bowl. And you mix brown sugar into there and some ketchup into it and a whole bunch of French's mustard. Yeah, and then a whole bunch of diced up dill pickles. All right, you dice them up, mix it up in there, put it in a glass pan, and rebake it.
Yeah, that's how my grandma used to.
Yeah, probably around 375, maybe 425. I'd probably bring it up 425 until it cooks in towards the center, and all that stuff it'll bubble, and all that shit will kind of condense down into a nice thick, kind of like a candied baked beans. It'd be like a Boston baked bean, kind of candied. It's good with the little dill pickles in it and everything. You don't taste those that much, but you just kind of give a little.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like
mustard really.
That's kind of more like a real summer picnic kind of food. Like you bring it to a picnic, like if you're having like fried chicken and burgers and shit like that.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, coleslaw, all that kind of stuff. That would all go together. It's just it's really weird to me how some foods are like acceptable as breakfast foods and some things are not acceptable as breakfast foods, even though whatever, food is food, you know? I guess.
Steph says we eat baked beans for breakfast here too. She's in Australia. So, it's just, I feel your pain. Okay? Being connected with fucking old school British culinary influences. I'm saying, there's some fantastic fucking British cooks now, fucking Gordon Ramsay, my fucking hero, man, is like my idol. All right, in terms of culinary shit, he's British. Actually, he's fucking Scottish.
He's Scottish.
He's Scottish, yeah, but he's all, all in the UK, and I think he's recognized there in England too as being one of the greats. And he corrected a lot of that shit, and a lot of the shit that the British people do is they do it for the same reasons we did certain things in the South, and that was the influence of poverty.
Yeah.
Is that where you'll come up with some weird culinary ideas that don't work, but you think they work because you grew up with them. But the thing is that your ancestors were poor, and that's the only thing they had. If they had other options, that wouldn't have come out. Now, there are some people that were poor for a long time, but were in a land of more kind of like plenty, and a land of plenty. So they had good taste buds. And that's what we're talking about with Southern food and soul food. Okay. Almost everything from the Southern and soul flavor profile, it all tastes good. And as a testament, there's Mama Cherie opened up a soul food restaurant in England, and it was like their #1 restaurant for a long time, and it was just regular soul food, Southern type food.
Well, it was
is good.
Yeah, actually, didn't Gordon? He did a Kitchen Nightmares on it. Although that was the only show that I ever saw him, and it was one of the British ones. Yeah, that was the only show that I ever saw him do where he's like, well, the food's not really the problem
He
because
says,
the food is
he goes,
delicious.
oh, the food's great. Yeah. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
And why that happened is because the South was low income traditionally.
Yeah.
It had a lot of low income people, but it had a lot of food. It was an agricultural powerhouse. So they had food. Then maybe they couldn't afford the best cuts of pork, but there was pork. So they knew what to do with, other stuff. Maybe vegetables and fruit and vegetables or especially vegetables, they were just around. Maybe you didn't get the choicest cut of that vegetable. Like collard greens are the things that just come off of these things, you know what I mean? And turnip greens are the things that sprouting up off the top of a turnip. Normally you'd throw that away, but a Southerner would keep that.
Yeah.
And turn that into like a good side dish.
Well, yeah, because if you spice it right, it's actually pretty good.
There are some countries like North Korea that are so fucking poor, and they'll eat all kinds of crazy shit because they're poor, but there's nothing to work with.
Yeah.
That's a totally different situation. England was kind of like that. It was very, most of it was very urban. So their poor people were in like brick dumbbell tenements a lot of times and brick apartments, and they didn't have anything really to work with. Just some canned food. Well, not much you can do with that.
I kind of feel like that's what happened here, like in mid-century, like post-war type of stuff, where everything was like canned and boxed.
Yeah.
Everybody was really getting into like the convenience, you know what I mean? And it's like, let's take little cans of Vienna sausages and, pour it on fucking, shit like that. We're making casseroles with fucking canned cream of mushroom soup and all this other kind of crap.
Yeah, and that's not the same situation that was in the South. Poor people in the South are kind of like poor people in the countryside of Mexico. Yeah, they don't have a lot of money, but they got a garden in the back of the house.
Yeah.
So they're dealing with fresh ingredients. They eat pretty good. They're selling a lot of it, and then some of it they're keeping. They're trading. And as a kid, I remember that the people of my grandparents' age, they were all like the people that survived the Depression. They all had little gardens out behind their fucking houses.
Yeah.
Watermelons, corn, okra, tomatoes.
Yeah, we just tomatoes will grow pretty much anywhere in Florida. We used to grow tomatoes in the backyard and pumpkins too. Yeah, and we tried to grow some watermelons, but only a couple of them came up.
And it was just second nature to them. They didn't even think about it. They'd go out and start planting shit. And I think it was just because they grew up in the Depression, so the people who were planting were mostly the ones who survived.
Yeah.
So there was kind of natural selection. If you made it through that, then it was because you were the person that planted things. And then it was reinforced in you that it was, why would you not want free food?
Yeah, it's right there.
You know what I mean? It's right there. So
we had an orange tree in the backyard too, like my grandmother's house. But the oranges were a little bit, I guess the tree was real old, so the oranges had started going a little sour. But you could still make lemonade with them. You could still make marinades with them. You just couldn't eat them right off the tree. You know what I mean?
Another thing about Southerners was the fishing. All right. Fucking lots and lots of catfish.
Yeah.
I don't think a Northerner probably would have eaten a catfish if they'd seen it. I mean, it was just fucking... That's not the kind of fish that you would think would be edible when you see it. It's ugly. It's like a slimy. It doesn't have any scales on it. It's got skin. It's got big old fucking whiskers. It's got poison fins. You cut the head off, and the head will be alive for about 3 days on the bank.
Just on
everybody.
It's like
and it's on the bank.
A little unsettling.
It's not even in the water, and it's fucking the head's still alive. So, and they're hard to clean. You gotta fucking skin them with a pair of pliers, pull the skin off of them. But it's a delicious fish. It's kind of like an eel, the texture and the flavor of catfish is like eel. It's a primitive fish. And I think a Northerner would have turned their nose up on it, but they got huge. Fucking huge. All right?
Yeah, I've seen some scary big catfish.
Yeah. And those are the little ones.
They could swallow a fucking child.
Yeah, well I think in ancient times they were big enough to swallow a man. It's just that
I don't doubt it.
It's that they fish them though.
Yeah.
So they don't ever get that big.
I mean, they still fucking Jeremy Wade has caught some scary big ones.
Yeah, that looks like they could kill you.
Yeah.
And who knows how old that fish was? Maybe only 50 years. Well, how big are they when they're 80 years?
Yeah.
How big are they when they're 120? Because a lot of those things don't really seem to die of old age. They just get so big they can't get enough food to survive and they starve. Like an alligators.
Yeah.
But Southerners didn't even really fish. They did things called trotting, and they'd run a trot line, which is just tie a rope around one tree and then go wade out in the water and take the rope to the other side of the damn pond and tie it to another tree so it's about a foot off the damn water. And in that rope, it's got little fishing lines with hooks in the water. So it's just a line of hooks. And you don't even need bait on them. Fish will still bite that hook.
It's like, huh, what's this? Aw, damn it. That was really avoidable.
Catfish will bite them. It's just the weirdest shit ever. You do bait them. Bait them will assure that you will get something. But a lot of Southerners discovered that you could just put unbaited hooks in the water and come back at the end of the day and there'll be 3 or 4 fish on it.
See, to me, I always thought that if you were in a survival situation and you could find like a body of water, that would be the easiest, because that is the lowest effort way to get meat. It's a lot easier than hunting.
Yeah.
You just kind of like let it ride.
Yep. And you can run like 4 or 5 trot lines across the same pond. And spaced out 5 feet. And just come back every day and lift it up and see if there's any fish on the hooks. If there's fish, you run out there, wade out there and get them. It's so easy. It's free food.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, we used to catch crabs. We had little crab traps.
Yeah.
We used to go out there to the river and catch crabs.
Yeah, it's just a thing that folds
up. Put them on the grill.
Yeah, and you might have a fish tied to it, a dead fish tied to it. They'll crawl into there to eat that fish, and when you pull the cage up, it closes up. And then there'll be crabs in there. Mm-hmm. Pull the crabs out, and then just throw it back out there. You try to get them all. Wipe them out.
They'll make more.
Well, if they're little, you throw them back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, we've been going for an hour and 17.
Oh, shit.
Hour and 17 minutes.
All right, let's see if there's any.
See, you were worried about, it's like, I don't know if I can talk about food for that long. I'm like, come on. We end up talking about food on the regular show when we're trying to talk about other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tammy said she grew up in central Pennsylvania and we ate catfish. Yeah, you eat catfish now, but you probably wouldn't have eaten catfish back in the late 1800s or 1800s. I don't think they would have. Maybe.
Stock Prop says there is a wild meat restaurant in Orlando. I had a sampler with lion and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Really? I wonder if that's still there. I never heard of it. It's here in Orlando? I'm gonna have to look that up now. I mean, I don't really want to eat a lion, but
if you go back into history, there's a lot of foods that we eat today that they didn't eat in the 1800s. One of the weird ones is a tomato. They thought tomatoes were poisonous.
Yeah, for a long time they did.
For a long, long time. They thought potatoes were poisonous for a long time.
I was just going to say that.
There's a lot of that seafood people wouldn't eat. They thought it was dangerous.
Although they used to eat a lot more eel in Europe, particularly in England, back in the old days, and they don't really do much of that anymore.
Well, they had weird beliefs that are kind of forgotten, too. They thought if an animal made poison or venom, that it must be poisonous, so don't eat that. Which makes me think that they might not want to eat a catfish in the 1800s because they were considered to be poisonous.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want to risk it, I suppose.
You wouldn't want to risk it. Because catfish have poison spines on them that a lot of people don't know about. But I don't think all of them have them, but the ones we had did.
Yeah.
And mudcat. I mean, mudcat's fucking... and that's another thing. They didn't really differentiate between catfish and mudcat. And a mudcat is a certain breed of catfish that's kind of shorter and fatter and kind of more rounder. And they taste terrible. Terrible. They just taste like mud.
Yeah.
Mud.
Hence the name.
Mudcat. Yeah, mudcat. You throw them back a lot. Some people kill them. They catch them and they go, oh, it's a mudcat, and they kill it.
Fuck that.
To try to wipe them out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them in there. They don't want them competing against catfish. But people don't eat them. Although some people say, oh, I eat them too. Being all manly about it.
Because it's manly to just eat disgusting shit.
Yeah. I eat them too. All right. Let's go.
Man, I need a nap. Holy crap.
It says catfish don't stop growing. I don't think they do. Yeah. It makes me want to taste caribou. I've had caribou. Caribou is the best meat I've ever had. I haven't had it in a long time.
Really?
Though. Yeah, caribou is the best I've ever had.
Hmm.
It's kind of like beef, but a lot more succulent.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it kind of has a slight tartness to it. It's weird. There's no way to describe it. Like a really good. It's like a cross between venison and beef, but venison's difficult to cook. All right, it tends to want to get tough. Caribou kind of has the meat, kind of had the fibers the size of a cow. You know, the meat fibers.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be tender. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it kind of has a slight, not a gamey taste to it, but it does kind of taste. It does kind of taste like venison a little bit, which is slightly lemony from what I remember.
I would
Been a
mind
long
trying
time
that
ago.
actually.
It's good.
You probably get it around here somewhere.
Probably buy it.
Yeah.
It's farm raised though.
Yeah.
The one we had was wild. My dad took a flight up to Canada with some guys, and they went on a hunting expedition and shot several of them. And then cleaned it and fucking flew it back in the airplane. Cessna. Flew up there in the Cessna.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was in the tail.
With the caribou in the plane.
Yeah, well, it was already dressed and cut into steaks, and it was just, you know what I mean, they had it all up in the tail, wrapped up. Came out, they cooked it. It was fucking delicious, man. Really good. So wild boar also. We had these things called Russian boar in Mississippi. There's a channel on YouTube called Hanna Barron. And Hanna Barron and her dad, she's a cute girl from Alabama, but it's the same ethnic makeup as Mississippi, you know. You can say it's the same people. Mississippi and Alabama used to be the same state. They all used to be Mississippi. But her and her dad trap what we would call Russian boar, which was a breed of domestic pig mixed with Russian, I think it was a razorback. So it's like half razorback and half pig. They're not a wild animal, so they don't apply to game laws. It's considered to be varminting. So you can trap them the way that they're doing them, because it's not a native species to Mississippi, so it's not protected. It's considered to be domestic. So some of the shit that you see her doing, don't think you can hunt like that. Russian boar is not a game animal.
Right.
It's domestic. So what they're doing is they're baiting them to go into a round pen, and then they shut the door to the pen, go in there and just shoot them in the pen.
Yeah.
They don't show that part, but it's slaughter. It's not hunting, but you can do it with that animal. That's not a wild animal.
Yeah.
So it's legal.
Xanada just said, we work with exotic meat sometimes at my work. Alligator andouille or python
andouille.
rabbit sausage.
Yeah.
There's lots of foodies now wanting weird meats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, that's kind of one of the cool things. It's this explosion of everybody wanting to try all these different like cuisines and shit. When we were growing up, it was very, very provincial.
Yeah. I don't recommend alligator. I've had a bunch of it.
I've had it before. I remember
it's flaky and dry.
Yeah, I remember it being okay, but not really all that.
It's like real flaky, dry fish to me. Almost kind of like verging on dry chicken.
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Slight fish flavor.
I think I was at this seafood restaurant when I was younger, and I had a platter, and it had like alligator and shark and like some other stuff on there. The shark was pretty good, but I remember the alligator just being kind of, like you said, just kind of like chickeny, just kind of dry a little bit.
Yeah,
not really worth it. I mean, I guess if it's prepared.
I've had it cooked by supposed masters. It always tastes like that.
Xanada said alligator is okay deep fried. Well, pretty much everything's
that might
good
be all right,
deep fried.
Yeah. It's just not. It's something that you would eat if you were hungry.
Yeah, and you couldn't get any hold of anything else.
Yeah, if you're living out in a fucking swamp or bio, and eat him. It's there. You know? They were illegal to hunt in Louisiana for a long time because they were just wiping them out. But you can hunt them now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about now in Florida. Are they still protected in Florida? I'm actually not sure.
I don't know.
I think they were for a time. I don't know if they are anymore because I think
the go in and out of it.
Well, because the population goes down so much that they have to like protect them until the population comes back.
Mississippi and Louisiana have a problem with a thing called a nutria. or a Nutra.
Yeah.
Some people call it a Nutra rat.
Yeah.
And it's a giant. It's kind of like a small capybara.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
It's not a rat, but it's a rat-like creature.
It looks like
a rat. And they're not from here. They're from South America or Central America, and they just take over. And they eat all the little fucking lily ponds and shit and fuck up the environment for the animals that belong here. And they reproduce in vast numbers. So they had a bounty on them. They were paying you a certain amount to go out there and kill them. They were just trying to wipe them out.
Because they were just everywhere.
Just trying to wipe them out. And some Cajuns figured out that you could eat them.
Because of course they did. Cajuns will eat anything.
Yeah. So there's some Nutra recipes out there, and they've gotten it to where it evidently tastes pretty good. But there's just Americans are just kind of adverse to eating a rat. That's
even though it's technically not really a rat.
It's technically not a rat, but they're gonna look at that and go, "That's a rat." And the Chinese eat rat all the time, which that's weird shit, but they do.
I mean, meat's meat,
I saw a video of a little girl about 6 years old with a damn dead rat in her hand, and fucking and her mom's walking her like that, and fucking the comment was like, "No, that's food. They eat those."
You remember like that newer show that Gordon Ramsay has? He actually went to Louisiana, didn't he? And he went on one of those nutria hunts.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, his mom had made like a nutria stew, and he brought it along in a thermos, and like Gordon was eating that, and he's like, "Man, that's delicious."
Yeah.
I don't know if he just said that for the camera, but yeah, he said it was really good.
It's kind of like squirrel, but evidently it kind of has a little bit of a musty flavor to it. You know what I mean? I mean, they're living in the bio. Yeah.
I can see them probably not tasting all that good.
They don't taste that good. They don't think they eat stuff.
I mean, but like I said, if there's so many of them and you have to wipe them out, you might as well eat them because it's like it just was going to waste otherwise. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to waste stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm getting really, really sleepy. Yeah. Like I said, we didn't get much sleep last night. I think we went to sleep until like 4:30 in the morning or something. But yeah. All right. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this new food show. If you have any recommendations for new stuff you want to do, like I said, I don't know if we'll do another one of these in the week. It'll just be the same time as like the matinee one. So it'll either be like a matinee or one of these, like depending on whatever we feel like talking about that day. But yeah, so let us know if there's any kind of cuisines you want to talk about or any kind of shit. And we will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks everybody for dropping by and donations and whatnot. And we'll see you then. Bye.